बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम नहमदुहु व नसल्ली अला रसूलिहिल करीम व अला आलिहि व अस्हाबिहि अजमईन रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी व यस्सिर ली अमरी वहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली वजअल ली वज़ीरम मिन अहली आमीन या रब्बल आलमीन सुब्हानका ला इल्म लना इल्ला मा अल्लमतना इन्नका अंतल अलीमुल हकीम अल्लाहुम्मा अल्हिमनी रुश्दी व अइज़नी मिन शर्रि नफ़्सी क़ाल अल्लाहु तआला अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम क़ुल अऊज़ु बिरब्बिल फ़लक़ मिन शर्रि मा ख़लक़ व मिन शर्रि गासिकिन इज़ा वक़ब व मिन शर्रिन नफ़्फ़ाथाति फ़िल उक़द व मिन शर्रि हासिदिन इज़ा हसद। Alhamdulillah, we are talking about the evil eye. Just to recap what we had discussed in the previous khutbah, so we can relate what we are going to talk today. In the previous khutbah we started with the hadith of Muslim where Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, Al-aynul haqqun, the evil eye is real. And then we said that it is so real that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had revealed Surah Falaq and asked Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam to be protected when it says وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدٍ, and from the evil of an envier when he envies. And then we spoke that the matters of evil eye, in fact magic and deviliers, all these kind of things, devils, they are all the matters of unseen. God forbid, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect everyone inshallah, but only the person who is going through it would really know what is happening with that person. And then we spoke that it is so real, it can get so real that one of the hadith of Sahih al-Jami, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, the evil eye enters a man into a grave and enters the camel into the cooking pot due to the effects. And then another hadith of Abu Dawood where Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that bearing in mind the divine decree, most people of my ummah die due to envy, due to hasad, and there are various reasons for that. Then we tried to discuss what is the connection between evil eye and our eyes, and we came to the conclusion that evil eye does not have to do anything with the eyes necessarily. It is not like a ray or a beam which would come out of the eyes and would affect somebody else. It doesn't work that way. In fact, before I continue, just one thing I would like to clear, that when I was studying, alhamdulillah, when I was studying Deen, I had a chance to meet different scholars, different peoples of the world, different scholars of the world. And in fact, one of our teachers also, he used to do the cure for the people who would get affected by evil eye, in fact who would get affected by the jinns. And we say asayb in our language, in other words, the people who would get affected by the evil spirits. I have seen it happening in front of my eyes, and I have seen people getting cured in front of my eyes, and I have seen people changing the way they are. I mean, one of the things that there was a 60-year-old lady, probably 65, she was affected by a jinn. And when the jinn came onto her, Allahu Akbar, if I was alone, probably I would have fainted. It was so scary. But that teacher, of course, when he was there, he knew how to do it. And alhamdulillah, I was not alone with her at that time. We were 3-4 people with her son in the room as well. So what I'm trying to say is that this thing is so real that God forbid anybody had to come across it. And mostly, as we are talking, it is from somebody who's closer to you. In fact, my teacher, he used to say that evil eye can even be from a mother to her child, because the mother loves her child so much that sometimes she forgot to supplicate from the du'as of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for her child. So it can be from envy, it can be from somebody's own evil eye. You know, people who look at who look at themselves in the mirrors and they praise themselves, maybe they cross the limits. That is why we even have the dua, the supplication, when somebody sees the mirror, what he's supposed to say. So these things are there. And then we also spoke that this envy, this jealousness, the negative feelings of a person, it gives some kind of power, some kind of strength to the shaitan, that he can affect the other person. How? We don't know yet clearly. But according to the scholars who work in this field and who have been working there for like 15, 20 years, this is how they explain it. In fact, one of the teachers I asked, I said, please tell me that how would we differentiate if it's an evil eye, or if it's a magic, or if it is an evil spirit. And he said, well, people spend 15, 20 years of their life and still they're not sure unless they start treating the person. So these things can be so confusing sometimes that a person may be going through the thing and he wouldn't know what is happening. However, even scholars agrees that most 99% of the time it's jealous. A person who is jealous of the other person, that envy a person would have in his or her heart for others. Then we spoke about jealousy, that jealousy is discouraged by all the religions of the world. It is a disease of the heart which leaves the heart impure, and it leaves the heart empty of faith. And even according to the psychology, it is an illness of the spirit, of the soul, or of the mind, this is how they say it, which would leave a person into a deep depression and distress, and that person would be suffering 24/7 without realizing that what the person is going through. And the effects of jealousy on a person is so much that according to one of the hadith of Abu Dawood, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, beware of the envy. It eats up good deeds just as fire eats up wood or grass. This affection of jealousy can affect a person so much that even you would, if you just turn around, even you would see that the person who had been nice, who had been good, his or her whole life, and just because of one or two difference of opinions with his or her loved ones, they would just turn 180 degrees. They would try their best that the other person should not succeed. We must have come across these kind of people in our lives. This is not something which is new. This is not something which is out of this world. And not only, ya Ikhwan al-Muslimin, this is very important to understand, that this is not only in the worldly matters. This even happens in the matter of deen. When somebody wants to take the position of an imam, when somebody wants to take the position in an institution, when somebody wants to be recognized as the best in their religious work, even there we see it happening. So it is very important for us to be aware and to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for help always. Then we looked at the reasons of evil eye, and out of most reasons, 99% of the reason is a show off. A person wants to be an exhibitionist. A person wants to show that I have this, and I want to make other people jealous. And the biggest, I would say, disadvantage or advantage, however you would like to put it, that social media is there to show everybody what we have. And it would start, very first thing, with making an account and then start posting everything and anything about your life. I'm at this place having a coffee, I'm driving to this place for my vacation, I'm doing this, we have gathered at our home for this. And it comes up to the point where people would post their achievements. I've got a gold medal, or I've got this certificate, or I've done this. And not only that, they even start exposing the achievements of their children, of their loved ones, without even letting them know, or without even their information. Pictures of your families, of your children, just general. Picture of your social gatherings. These are the things which have destroyed the families, which have destroyed the marriages. And this all is happening without a person realizing what he or she is doing wrong. Because nobody wants to break his or her life, or marriage, or anything. And then one of the worst things that happens from our sister side is they would start posting the pictures of the foods. I had made this, that, this bakery, this expensive food, and I went to this restaurant, I've got this jewelry, and I've got this clothes, and all those things. Well, nowadays even males are doing that. However, these are again the things a person wants to do and post on the Facebook or Twitter, or what else is there? For what? Just to get the likes, to get the comments. OMG. There are a lot of comments I didn't even know about. I was just going through, so I got these ones. How good it is, and how beautiful it is, and wow, how lucky you are, and kind of thing. And the person is very happy. Wow, see, others are getting, they're praising me. I'm getting famous. However, ya Ikhwan al-Muslimin, what others forgot to do is, they forgot to say, MashaAllah. They forget to say, Subhanallah. They forget to say, Tabarakallah. And then if you just look around, you would only see that how many people are there who are really happy for you to have what you have in your life, who are really happy for you to have your children, who are really happy to have your family life, the peace you have in your life. How many people would be happy about it? And this is where the thing starts. And this is what the person wanted, right? Exhibitionist, show off, let people know what I have, get people jealous. The person gets it. And when the person gets affected, then you would see that the health would start going down. Your children who are very good in studies, they don't want to study anymore. You, yourself, who was so hardworking, you don't want to work anymore. The house you have, the car you have, you will start having problems in your things you could not even imagine about. Your children would start disobeying you. Suddenly, there would be a change and you wouldn't know what is going on. You wouldn't know what's wrong. And last but not least, the differences between spouses would get to a point where they would start arguing to each other, probably just where to go, what to cook in the house to eat, for nothing. And before I go on to the protection, I want to I want to bring into your attention that when in Surah Yusuf, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has quoted Yaqoob alayhi salam, that when he was sending his sons to Egypt, he had 12 sons, who later became Bani Israel. When he was sending his sons to Egypt, he told them not to enter through one gate and use the different gates. The scholars explain that he had advised them because he did not wanted people to get attention that there are 12 or 11 brothers who are entering the city of Egypt. And of course, they were going to become 12 tribes in the future, so definitely they were beautiful, they were very good looking, handsome. And most of the people are not well-wishers. They are not going to wish good to them. So I'm just going to go through the translation. And he said, "O sons, do not enter the city all through one gate, but enter from different gates." And now see, before I continue with the ayah, this is what we learn from Quran when we read it in a proper context. Though Yaqoob alayhi salam advised his sons not to go through one gate, to take all the precautions possible, yet what did he say? وَمَا أَغْنِي عَنْكُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ. Subhanallah. I cannot help you against what Allah has destined for you, or what is destined by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the least. إِنِ الْحُكْمُ إِلَّا لِلَّهِ. The decision is only for Allah. عَلَيْهِ تَوَكَّلْتُ. On Him I have put my trust. وَعَلَيْهِ فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُتَوَكِّلُونَ. And in Him put trust ones, and in Him let all the trusting ones put their trust. So the thing what we learn from this ayah about the protection from the evil eye or from anything is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only source of help. If we are affected spiritually, if we are affected physically, please remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only source. He is the only one who can get you and me out of any trouble. That is why we should have strong faith, and we should put our trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at all time. Because let's not forget that He has created you, me, jinns, shaitan, whoever it is, and He has the cure for all the diseases in the world. So for protection, the very first thing, ya Ikhwan al-Muslimin, is have faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Have trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The reason I am insisting so much on this is because when a person gets into a trouble, when a person gets into a position where he is in a very bad state, this is where the shaitan comes and he starts whispering in the ear. Do this, do that, do this, do that, go to this person, go that thing, get this, get that. And this is where the door of shirk opens for a person. And let's not forget the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ has said that whenever a calamity falls on a person, and evil eye is one of the calamity, getting affected by jinn or an evil spirit is a calamity. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ has said that even any hardship, any pain, grief, worry, harm, whatever affects a person, even a thorn that pricks him, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expiates some of his sins thereby. So remember this, that whatever a person is going through, inshallah that is khair for him. We may not know straight away. And just to give an example, if you just think what happened probably 10, 15 years ago from today, which was very bad at that time, which you had hated from the bottom of your heart, maybe for yourself, for your parents, for your children, for anyone. But today, in today's context, you might be thinking that that was the best that had happened at the time. So very first thing is, whatever it is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another problem of today's Muslim is that he wants to learn everything about this dunya, but he do not want to learn anything about deen, because he thinks that everything he has is because he is capable of that. I am here today because I studied to be here. I am best today because I worked hard to be best. And ya Ikhwan al-Muslimin, if you just look around, you would see there are people who are much more good, smart, intelligent than you are. And they have probably not a fraction of what you have. So it is not only I studies, I worked hard, I learned, I have knowledge. Get out of this I, please. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has blessed you with whatever you have. So it's very important to learn about the matters of deen, to protect yourself, to protect your family, to protect your children, to protect your marriage, to protect your generations which are on the way to come, inshallah. So very important. So one of the beautiful story that happened once, and by the way, this thing about the calamities, this hadith is from Bukhari and Muslim. So once what happened, this story is mentioned in, Imam Malik has mentioned this, Imam Ahmad has mentioned, Al-Nasai and Ibn Hibban. Once Prophet Muhammad was going with his companions towards Makkah, and somewhere in the middle, one of the Sahabi, Sahal ibn Hanif radiyallahu anhu, he decided to take a bath. So when he was taking a bath, just to let you know, don't forget that at that time when people used to take the bath, they used to cover their aura. It was not, like how we do it in the bathrooms today. However, so when he was taking bath, there was another person who was passing by there, Amir ibn Rabi'a. So when he looked at him, this companion, Sahal, was beautiful. So he commented, "Oh Sahal, how beautiful you are. What a white man, what a beautiful skin. How handsome you are. The skin you have is not even, not even a beautiful lady would have a skin like that." Something like this, he said. And immediately, Sahal radiallahu ta'ala anhu started having seizures. Fell on the ground. And it looked as if he's going to die. So he was brought to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was there. And the first question Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked that, who do you accuse of looking at him? Who do you think has looked at him? So people said, that Amir ibn Rabi looked at him. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam summoned him, called him, and he spoke to him very angrily. He said, "Why can't you supplicate towards your brother if you see something good? Why had you just said something good without referring it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala?" So before I continue, one rule. Always, even if you have something good, say Alhamdulillah. It is from the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If your child has something good, say Alhamdulillah, MashaAllah. This is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chose my child for this. If you have a good family, Alhamdulillah. So it's very important to go back and thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for whatever you have. However, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, why would one of you kill your brother? Kill his brother. It can be so bad. So then he said, wash yourself. Wash yourself for him. So what he did was, he washed his face. This is what Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told him. He washed his face, hands, forearms, knees, end of his feet, and inside his azar, means garment worn below the waist. He washed it in the vessel, and then one of the Sahabi, he took that water in the vessel and he started pouring on him, on Sahal radiallahu ta'ala. He was pouring in the front and at the back, and probably they were also, trying to wash his body. And then what happened? When this was done, Sahal radiallahu ta'ala anhu got up and joined the people, and it was as if there is nothing wrong with him. The question people would say, what kind of, treatment is this? What kind of cure is this? How is this possible? I had mentioned in the beginning that these are the matters of unseen. You cannot always have a logic and reasoning behind everything, as you cannot have a logic of a TV getting controlled by a remote or calling somebody from the mobile without having any wires or without even seeing. Even if you have a wire, you don't know how the electricity travels through the wire unless you're an engineer or something. So not everything goes through according to what I think is wrong, right or wrong. However, this case, this is one of the way to get rid of the evil eye, when you know who's the person. So I asked my teacher when I heard this, I said, Sheikh, this is the case when you know who's the person. But how about if you don't know the person? And this is also possible, this is one of the exceptions. Then he said, according to my experience, if you don't know the person, then anybody who's a pious person in the house, who prays 5 times a day, and who is of the muttaqi, what you think, let him do the wudu, and let him do the whatever is mentioned in this hadith. And if that water would be used on a person who has got affected, inshallah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would cure the person. I said, Shaykh, have you seen this happening? He said, of course. And the Ikhwan Muslimin, what I'm telling you is not like the stories I've heard from people. No, I'm telling you what I have asked and what I have got the answers back. And these are the people who are in the field from 15, 20 years and curing people. It's not like some stories of, books or something. And then there is another hadith of Imam Ahmad in which it says, if you, the envier, are asked to take a bath, you should take such a bath. And then there is another hadith of Abu Dawood. This is different from the bath. That the man, this is different than the bath. The man who cast the evil would be commanded to perform wudu, ablution, and then the man afflicted by the evil eye was washed with it. Ya Ikhwan Muslimeen, one thing I would like to mention over here. Whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam has mentioned, do not take it light. If there are certain things we should do in our daily life, wallahi, I swear to Allah that this is for our own protection, for our own good, for the protection of our family. Just don't think because we can't get it means that's not right. And what my teacher told me about this particular way is, he said, even if somebody is affected by a jinn, by a demon, by an evil spirit, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will also cure him because of, inshallah, with this way of doing it. And then one more thing, which I asked him, I would like to share this with you as well. I said, Shaykh, how do you think, how many people, normally what happens is, that a person would be confused that if I am under the spell of a magic, or if it is an evil eye. This is another problem we have. So I'm not going to magic right now. So what he said, according to my experience, out of 100 cases, there are only 4 or 5 cases of magic. Mostly it is evil eye which affects people. So mostly it is evil eye which affects us, Ya Ikhwan Muslimin. Please keep this in mind. So the precautions which needs to be taken is, the very first thing, there's a hadith of Bukhari and Muslim where Prophet Muhammad ﷺ has forbidden for the children especially to go out after Maghrib unless it is fully dark. And we all know from the other hadith as well that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did not like people to be awake after Isha unless there is something important which needs to be done. So it says, I'm just going to go through it, mentioning the things. It says that do not go out when the part of night has passed. Then you can let your children go. Close your doors with the name of Allah, Bismillah, and you close your door. Tie your water skins, your water containers. Nowadays we have got fridges and stuff like that. When you are doing that, please use the name of Allah, say Bismillah and close it. Cover your vessels. Sometimes there are things we need to keep outside for whatsoever reason. Cover them and just say Bismillah while you are covering them. And extinguish your lamps by the name of Allah. When you are switching off your lights, just say Bismillah and switch off your lights. And Ya Ikhwan Muslimin, don't forget, even when you are going onto the bed, this is also from the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, that he used to recite Surah Ikhlas, Surah Falaq, Surah Nas 3 times, like Ikhlas, Falaq, Nas, and then he would just go all through his body. He would do it thrice. It will not take more than 2 minutes, maybe 2 minutes or more as well. But Ya Ikhwan al-Muslimin, this is your protection. Ayat al-Kursi, 15 seconds at the most. This is your protection. Please, everybody, nowadays we have these apps on our mobiles about the adhkar of morning and evening, supplications of morning and evening. Please download them. Do it after the Fajr. For some reason you are not able to do the Fajr on time. Whenever you wake up, keep 5 minutes for them. Minutes, only matter of minutes. Same thing in the evening, after the Maghrib, and some scholars says after the Asr, do it for them. And then this dua is there. I just wanted to mention this you will definitely find it in that morning and evening azkar. And a book, mostly what scholars would recommend, is called Hasan al-Muslim. I'm sure you can find it. So this dua was specially done by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam for the evil eye. He used to do it for his children and for Hassan and Hussein radiyallahu anhum. A'udhu bi kalimatillahi tammati min kulli shaytanin wa hammatin wa min kulli aynin lamma. O Allah, I seek refuge with your perfect words from every devil and from poisonous pests and from every evil, harmful and envious eyes. And of course, I think I'll stop here because we're already on the thing. Ya Ikhwan Muslimin, once again, I would like to bring this to your attention. Whatever problem you have, let it be spiritual, let it be physical, we all go through that. Please turn towards deen. Turn towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and inshallah most of your problems will be solved. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Quran al-Azim wa nafa'ani wa iyyakum bima fihi min ayat wa dhikr al-hakim. Aqulu qawli hadha wa astaghfirullah li wa lakum wa lis-sa'irin al-muslimin min kulli dhanbin fastaghfiruhu innahu huwal ghafurur rahim.